everybody, and welcome back to ANG All Night Gaming. I'm Old School, and we're here to go over some of the video. Hopefully you got a chance to check out these creators' Disney Infinity creations today throughout the day for Halloween. Started in the early morning hours if you're here in the U.S., because a lot of our creators are overseas in the U.K. We've got a real diverse mix of talent, no doubt about that. The boxes that I saw today were just really, really talented work. Very good stuff, and I can't tell you how much you need to go check them out. They're all great. I'm going to do, as I told you I would, a special behind-the-scenes kind of thing on how I did mine. Now, if you haven't already seen Freaks, then maybe you want to pause right now and go check that out first and then come back to this afterwards. But I can tell you right now, Freaks was fun for me because it was kind of what I was planning on doing before Disney kind of went the direction they went and lost me. The reason I came back is because I realized I don't have to follow their path, and I can create stuff with the Disney names that we know that is more along the lines of what I think Walt would have supported. I know he would not support what's happening today. No doubt in my mind. That all said, let me show you. I've got it broken down into two segments. One I'm going to show you live. The other one I've pre-recorded, so we'll kind of watch that together. So in this folder up here, I've got a bunch of different stuff that I recorded. Let's take a look at what some of it is. Basically what I did is I took toy boxes that I already had, that I'd built over the years, and used them as set pieces. Consider it shooting on location. And then from there, I would take snippets of it, string them together to make a story, and then did some voiceover work in the background. Where you see these green images, though, that's a different toy box that I haven't shown you guys yet. And that is based on green screen. So I made a toy box that was solid green. I would put little things in it. You'll see that ledge on the side over here. If we go back a moment, boom, couldn't freeze it enough. Let's try it again. Right there. This ledge is where majority of the video was shot. I would put the characters up on the ledge and then have them, go back and forth or have fights with enemies or whatever. And then what I can do is I can remove the green coloring, and that just leaves the characters. And then I can put them on top of any background I want. So if I want them on the Empire State Building, I can have the actual Empire State Building, and I can put them on top of it. So that's the logic in how a lot of this got done. Little trick, some of these characters have green in them, like Buzz Lightyear. For that, all I did is switched everything from green to a light blue, kind of like a sky blue. Those are the two most commonly used colors in Hollywood when they're going to matte something out. So as I would have Skellington here at the green screen, once I went back into the editing process, I could remove all the green and it's just Jack walking. This also allows me to do that for several characters. And by doing that, I can now put multiple characters on screen at the same time. And I'm not limited to just the one or two that you're allowed to put on a single base. I can actually have 5, 6, 7, as many as I really have the time and patience to mat out. Here we've got some, I think, of the blue screen. Let me see if that's what that is. I think it is. Yeah, now this wasn't a smart choice because Donald's wearing blue, so I had to go back and redo it in green. Otherwise, you have Donald's head just floating around. Now, if you wanted something like that, you could. I mean, it is Halloween after all, right? So it's definitely a doable thing. And then I also have some other green screen effects. And I never actually used this one. I was surprised. I thought for sure I was going to use that. But I never got around to putting them in there. The dancing pumpkin. And other than that, what we had, as you guys have seen already, are different clips. Here I used some audio clips because I really wanted Tim Allen's voice in there. That's pretty much how it's working out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the video and we can watch that together. And this is kind of the editing process. And I'll be honest with you, I was kind of tired when I filmed this. So if I get a little slurry or whatever, I was just beat down tired, but I wanted to do it while I still had it available before I deleted the folder. So here's a program called DaVinci Resolve that a lot of people use. It is an extraordinary editing software, and it's 100% free. There is a paid version of it if you are like a real movie maker, and I mean like that level of they make legit movies with this software. Okay, you can do that. It's $300. I believe it's a one-time only fee. It's a steal of a deal if you're that into movie making. For me, everything you get with the basic is enough, and you can do so much with it, as you're about to see. So hopefully this works out well. Let's take a look. So over here, what we have is all the film clips. And basically what I did is I just filmed a lot of different Disney Infinity shots with different characters from different angles in different toy boxes. Then I chop them all up and I put them here in our little master file. Now these green ones are exactly that. They're green screens, and we'll talk about that because that's how we were able to get multiple Infinity figures all in the same scene. That's how we were able to get 5 or 6 of them at one time, when in the game the most you can really do right now is have 2 on a base if you have somebody else with you, and then you have the split screen, which we didn't have to deal with that either. Back in the day with the servers, we were able to get 4 people, I believe, on screen at one time, and again you would have the split to deal with. So we have 2 screens here side by side. This is a new technique for me that I just picked up recently, so recently as in this project. We actually have 2 timelines running simultaneously. This top line is where I basically bring all of the footage that I have and I throw it in here. And then I can chop it up and make it the way I want it to be, and then I drop it into my final project, which is the bottom line. It used to be that I would just work off of one timeline, and my goodness, that would have been so much harder if I had to do it that way. So I'm very thankful that I learned this method by watching some YouTube videos. Let me give you, here on the bottom line, this is everything that went into the final product that you have already seen, hopefully. Otherwise, there'll be some spoilers coming. And you can hear the audio as it plays as well. So here you can view this line. Now, if I want to go up here and click on this, now I'm looking at the clips that I have up here. I was going to do a rain effect, but I just didn't like it. I thought it was too much. Here are some audio clips I have from Buzz Lightyear.
Fascinating. I appreciate the help. Roger that.
And then I can find whatever ones I want, and I can just kind of cut them down, and that's different ways of doing it. A lot of people will use this razor blade. I'm not a fan of that. I just go Control B, which is break, and then I can go to the next clip, and I can go right there. Now I can move these other ones out of the way, and I have just this one clip if that's what I want.
Roger that.
And then I can take this clip and carry it down into this part, which is my main project, and then I line it up with the scene that I want. As you can see, we have a number of different tracks here for video on the top, and then on the bottom, the same thing for audio. And you can pretty much make as many as you want. It gets a little busy sometimes, and depending on what you're doing with your project, you might want to make this a bit bigger so you can see stuff better. Sometimes you'll use this one, but you can slide it around. You can also bring this up a bit to make even more room for your timeline. Just depends what your preference is. I kind of like to have the screens a little bit bigger. I like to get as close to accurate view of what the final product is going to look like. And again, this is some of the stuff that I just clipped in place. So one of the big tricks to making it all work out is your green screen, which I figured out halfway through that not everyone wants green screen, because what's happening here? There we go. If you look at, for instance, Buzz Lightyear here, he's got a lot of green in his costume. So by removing the green from the green screen, you're removing all green. And that would include a lot of his costume. So what I did is I just switched it over to the blue screen, which was the color they used for most of the Star Wars space scenes. Now the way you remove it in DaVinci here is you highlight the clip in particular that you're going to, and you can do it with any color. You just have to make sure it's not going to interfere with anything else in your scene. Then if you go down to the bottom here where it says Fusion, you have what they refer to as nodes. If you hit the control space bar, you'll get some options to pop up here. Oh, sorry, it's on my, I got two screens going, so it popped up on the other screen. And this may be blank the first time you click on it, but what you want to put in is the word key, and then these will pop up, and then delta keyer is up here, and that's what we're going to use, delta keyer. Then you grab your wand over here, and whatever color you highlight is the one that's going to be removed. So now we're only removing the blue screen, right? But you'll notice there's a little bit darker up here and a little bit lighter here. So what I'm going to do is just adjust the blue levels until it's about the same, and that'll take care of all of it. Now that said, I still have some stuff that was floating around over here from something that got blown up, and then I still got the buzz stuff going on here, which I don't want in the scene. So we come back out here, and now we're just going to crop everything else out and just keep Buzz himself. And there you have it. So I can now take this with or without the audio. That's completely up to you if you want to use the audio. You can also raise and lower the volumes, and then you can kind of see your wave format here to get an idea how your levels are compared to other things that you are currently running. So sometimes I might want the background noise to be a little bit more powerful than the music, or vice versa. And you can individually control the levels of those volumes. So in this case, we got Buzz ready to go. And if I wanted to, and just as a demonstration, we will do this. I'm going to put him on track 3, I believe. Make this a little bit bigger. Drop that down. And then I'm going to take this without the audio and then just plop it right down there. So now when we come back to the main, all of a sudden, there's Buzz Lightyear in the scene. Kind of silly to have him in this one, but the idea is the same. And then you can go back to your cropping tool if it ends up cropping out something that you don't want. And now we've got them just kind of bouncing around. This is what I did for the end scene credits, where you have Mickey and you have Buzz showing up during the credits. And that's exactly how I did that. I'm going to undo it, though, because I don't want that saved in my timeline. So the green screen, same exact trick, only you're removing the green instead of the blue, which in Rapunzel's case was okay because she didn't have any green in her costume. As for the regular footage, it's the same logic. Just crop out the parts that you want and slide them into your main timeline, and then you're basically telling your story that way. When it comes to sound effects, special effects, I just drop those all in, and that's why there are so many different layers here. One of the neat things you can do with DaVinci Resolve is you can do what they call a compound. Let's see if I get... All right, so this right here, for example, here's Jarvis's lines being spoken, right? And here is the main dialogue and game soundtrack.
Their help.
Why is... I thought I took Buzz out. Did I not take Buzz out? Get out of there. Boom.
I apologize, Mr. Skellington, but the Avengers are currently...
Okay, now maybe I want to do some other work with audio and it's starting to get too many tracks and it's getting jumbled up. So now all we do is compound them together, take the two, highlight them, right click, create a new compound clip. You can change the name if you want to. I don't generally do that too often. And now they're both together. in one clip, frees things up, and I have more space to work with. If I ever need to go back and redo anything or change anything, all I have to do is decompress it and use the clips, and it'll just pop right back out the way it was. But in the meantime, it cleans things up.
I need their help.
I apologize, Mr. Skellington.
And there you have that. So that's the gist of it. When it came to the end titles, I just went and made a bunch of different Halloween-themed titles, and then I brought them in over a scene that I shot with the still camera and put it on a Pathfinder. And you see him zooming in slowly on the haunted house with the spinning pumpkin. And then I just superimposed all the titles and stuff over that. And there you see Buzz again at the end with that same trick that we just did a moment ago. And that was another green screen effect right there. And you can get those for free on YouTube. There's a ton of green screen stuff you can pick up on YouTube. So if there's anything you're looking for, whether it's rain, whether it's an explosion, whether it's a tornado, I mean, you name it, you'll probably find a green screen of it. And that's how I did it. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this little behind-the-scenes feature here, and I hope you enjoyed the feature film itself. If there's anything I can ever help you guys out with when it comes to DaVinci Resolve, I'm no expert, but I get by. I do okay. So I will help in any way I can. If nothing else, I will direct you to the videos that help me. Just remember, when it comes to Disney Infinity, the only limitation is your imagination.